Hey guys, this is gameplay of the Shield Brothers, which is a new strike in the Taken King. If you just want gameplay, then enjoy this gameplay. It has all three perspectives, Titan, Hunter, and Warlock, and I think I cut it together pretty nicely. If you're interested in any sort of commentary, skip to the time shown on the screen for a run-through and my thoughts on the strike. Thanks everyone, enjoy.
They're the ones leading the assault on the power core, marking the coordinates now. Why would you bring a tank to space? That went well. Let's head to the bridge, see if we can reacquire the brothers.
I can't tell you the number of scouts I've lost to these brothers on Mars. They need to be stopped. Go careful.
Guardian, down. Taken and Cabal fighting for the bridge. Wherever the brothers are, they aren't here. Let's keep moving.
I bet those brothers don't even know their commander is dead. Their attack might be some kind of ultimatum. Give us the Primus, or we blow the ship.
I didn't think they would leave the core intact. Oh, bombs. It's covered in bombs. There are munitions hooked up to each structural weakness on the core.
That got their attention. Go get them, Guardian.
Guardian, down. Guardian, down. Done. The Brotherhood is broken.
I hear that the Cabal are big on honor, but look at their actions, not their words. You've put an end to war criminals, butchers, and you've shown the Empire what the Vanguard's all about. Nice work.
Hey guys, welcome to the commentary portion of the Shield Brothers strike. So this is one of the new strikes coming in the Taken King. Now, strikes have probably been among the weakest Destiny content in year one. They're super bland, bosses have too much health, there's no mechanics or anything like that. They're pretty boring. We played this at level 36 as level 40s, so this is basically a normal mode run, and it has been alluded to that the heroic or the highest level version or versions of this and other strikes will end up being more difficult. This strike progresses similarly to a lot of the other strikes in the game. You're running into rooms, shooting some guys, typical stuff. The first boss is a Goliath tank, but it's in a really small room, so there's not too many places to stand. One thing I noticed is that it didn't do a gigantic AoE like every other boss did and does in the game. However, this could be because of the scenario of it being in this very small space. You also have the entire room before the tank room to fight in, and there will be plenty of enemies trying to kill you. There is a mechanic in place that prevents you from leaving these two rooms though. Flame jets turn on and pretty much block your entire path. If you try and go through them, they deal a lot of damage and it stacks too, leading to what I assume to be a fast death. I tried out a Sunspot build on my Titan and I really wasn't the biggest fan of it at the time, but I only got to use it for a little bit. I didn't get too much time with it. I was excited to try and use them, but I didn't have the time to really maximize its potential. I was looking into the bonus where you gained an overshield too much. They just didn't really last long enough for me to make use of the sunspots. However, what I failed to notice is that it is really good AoE, especially against bosses or mages that don't really move around a lot. I ended up switching to a more all-around kind of build for the sake of time. After the Goliath tank, you continue to progress through the strike as normal. Bungie has reiterated that there are multiple scenarios that can happen in strikes with regards to the enemies you might fight, multiple bits of ghost dialogue, etc. Where the strike really gets to shine is with the bosses, the Cabal brothers. While this fight isn't very mechanical, it is very action-oriented. The first of the two to come out is pretty melee focused, where he'll just kind of hop around trying to ram you, and you guys saw me die twice to him if you watched the gameplay, although that was mainly because I got slammed into a wall, not so much died to the damage the boss dealt. So you fight the first guy for a little while, get some ad spawns as well, but it's a much more active fight than you are probably used to. You need to be paying attention a bit more to your surroundings and to the boss, otherwise you're just going to get crushed. Granted, this was the level 36 and we didn't have a huge problem with it, but still you need to be careful and to pay attention. Once the first guy hits around 40% health, he leaves and out comes the next guy. This next guy uses mortar blasts to attack you, and they leave a "don't stand in the fires" style telegraph on the ground to say, hey, this blast is gonna land here really soon, so get the hell out of the way. However, this was the only attack that we saw, and with a bunch of burst damage, we were able to take him out of the picture relatively quickly. He was not a big threat. Another wave of ads comes, and you kill them. Then it gets a little more crazy because now they both show up at the same time and get more abilities. The melee guy, Mao Owl, I'm not sure how to say his name, makes things pretty hot by leaving fire patches on the ground when landing, which all lasts for a pretty decent chunk of time, maybe about 20 to 25 seconds. And other dude has a gigantic blue shield around him, and if you try and shoot through the shield, well, you just can't. He's also launching mortars still, so you need to worry about both the melee guy and the mortar guy, so you're constantly moving. For us, it was just about finding that one time to line everything up and just unleash hell. That point came after I was rezzed after getting flung into the wall again. I hit melee guy with my melee attack, which has the melting point bonus on it, which, if you were wondering why we were only getting crits and had really high damage on the bosses when I punched them, well, that's why. While the enemy is burning from my attack, they take increased damage. A lot. So our plan was melting point melee attack, then I go into hammer time, and yes, that's what I called it. Then Holtzman, the hunter, used his shadow shots as bonus damage and tethering to absolutely destroy this boss, and that combo of abilities together was really satisfying. But when you kill one of the brothers, the other one alive appears to gain the abilities of the one that died. So now you have shield guy launching mortars, deploying a shield, and who has a vicious melee attack. Despite all that, he was pretty simple to finish off, although once again this was on normal mode. He doesn't seem to launch mortars if he's in a melee attack, but he will interrupt his mortars to do a melee attack. To get rid of his shield, all we did was enter the shield and pop him a couple of times and he moved. That is normal mode Shield Brothers. Overall, I did enjoy the strike. It took about 15 minutes to complete, even with some lollygagging around in the beginning and whatnot, but I think it was definitely an improvement over strikes from year 1, which were all basically pretty bland. Not really any longer than any of the strikes we've been dealt in year 1, although I'm sure you'll be able to get that 15 minutes down to a single-digit minute run very easily once you're familiar. The final bosses in the Shield Brothers are for sure an improvement over year 1 stuff, although these guys were not very mechanically deep, but rather had a lot more action to them. Very excited to see how difficult it ends up being on level 40, heroic, or whatever the next highest difficulty is going to be, and I'm also very excited to see what the other strikes are like, especially the revamped year 1 stuff, if there's any new things added to those strikes. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the gameplay, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.